Hello students, let us continue with videos of Unit 5 and the fourth topic in our Unit 5 is distributed IR. Already distributed systems is one of the topic that you have learned in computer network. Now what do you mean by distributed IR? Distributed IR is whole and soul based on distributed systems, but how we can use distributed systems? Now we know that we are having data related to the history. Okay, we want to store data related to the history. Then one data we want to store related to the science. Okay, so like that different topics will be there and we want to store the data on each topic. Now when suppose there is server 1 which is storing the data related to the history, but will this only one server sufficient to me to store the history of a whole world? No. What I have to do here now? I will divide it country wise. For example, to store the history of India, I will use the server S1.1. Then to store the history of Canada, I will use the server 1.2. Like that. Again in India, different states are there. Then again the next level we will go. Again in that different states, different cities are there. Okay, again the next level we will go. So like that the number of the servers are growing level by level. Okay, and all these servers should be connected to each other. Means whenever one of the foreigner who is interested to visit Hyderabad city of India, then what he will do? He has to refer to the servers level by level. Okay, how he will search? He will give the search as show me the history of Hyderabad city, part of Telangana state situated in India. So you need to contact the particular server, and these all servers have divided the information among them and they are connected by internet to each other. So this is what called as a distributed system, and the information that you are trying to retrieve is called as a distributed IR. Means user is trying to retrieve the information by making use of distributed systems. The system that is not in one place, it is divided among the globe and which is connected to each other by the network. Okay, so distributed IR is whole and soul based on the concept of distributed systems. So that is only we are going to see in detail in this video. Okay. Now, one second. What do you mean by distributed system? A distributed information system is composed of the several independent systems and they are storing the data, and these systems are handling the queries by connecting the proper system which is containing that information. So these systems are usually connected over the network. Unless and until the systems are connected over the network, you are not able to contact the particular system to answer your particular query. So there should be a proper coordination among the systems which are connected over the network. Now what is the example of the distributed system? These are the three main examples of the distributed system. The first one is what? Federated search. Now what the federated search is doing? For example, academic databases. Now listen, we are belonging to NJT, but again in NJT there are two branches, CSE and AIML. So there will be two databases. Again in CSE the databases will be divided year wise. Again it will be divided section wise. So whatever is a query asked related to one student, then you will start seeing whether they are belonging to NJT or KMEC, whether they are belonging to CSE or CSM, then which year they belong, which section they belong, and finally all the results will be aggregated together. So that is what called as a federated search. The next one is what? Web search engine. In web search engine, the best example of the search engine is Google. We all know where what your system is doing, it is crawling. Okay, means it is visiting each and every system. making use of the index, and it is a vast database. Okay, and here we are having the array of websites, and these all are distributed among the globe. The next one is what? Cloud based IR. Now we know that to store this huge data, memory requirement is more. Then in that case, I will make use of a platform that is called as a cloud platform. Okay, and here I will try to retrieve data, store and retrieve my data. Okay, means my database is making use of a cloud platform. The best example is Amazon Web Service or Microsoft Azure. Now, what do you mean by federated search? Federated search is one of the type of distributed information retrieval where single query is sent to multiple, often heterogeneous data sources. Okay, means there is only one query, but that query I am giving to a heterogeneous data source, means each data source is containing the different kind of the information, and finally I will aggregate the result, and that result I will present to the user. For example, suppose every department has given event organization responsibility. So there will be one question by the cultural coordinator. What are the different type of event each department going to organize? Give me that information. So each department will come up with one proposal. The query is same, but the answer is different. Okay, the variety of the events will be organized by each of the department. So what will happen when we are aggregating those all event list, then we will get the schedule throughout the day. Okay, so that is what called as a federated search. Now here, what is the main challenge in the federated search that you should keep in mind? Heterogeneity. Now as I told you, each department will plan for organizing some of the unique event. Then what is the coordination required to organize that event? What will be the budget? What all advanced arrangements we should make? How the banner should be designed? How the certificate should be planned? Is there any guest we should call them? Like that, all the planning will be there. Means there will be a variety. Okay, then the next one is what? Latency. Yeah, now whenever you are inviting some of the guests, then that guest timing should be adjusted. Means every planning will kill your time. Okay, so that delay you should be ready to accept whenever there is a heterogeneity. Now why it has been arrived? Suppose if there is only one event, then whole time you will give to that one event only. But when you are having variety of events, then you should give equal time contribution to each of the event. So it will cause the delay. Now the next one is what? Ranking consistency. Yeah. Now ranking means what? How much relevant is your data? How much it is useful to the user? Based on that, I am deciding the relevance. Okay, so this relevance is taking me to the ranking. So that ranking consistency may not be maintained because as there is variety of the data. Okay. Now the next one is what? Data partitioning and sharding. A very important point that you should remember is you are not capable of storing all data together. Definitely you have to take help of multiple systems which are globally distributed, and you should establish connections among these systems. So your data is partitioned. The next one is what? Sharded. Sharding means what? Yeah, you have to split your data, you have to divide your data, you have to partition your data. The large data set will be divided into small data set, means it will be a subset of data set. Now how you will decide how much small is allowed? What should be its width? It is depending on the manageable pieces, the length of the data that you can manage. Based on that, the division will occur. 60 students can be accommodated in one section, so my each section size will be 60. If I am having 200 students, definitely I have to go for 3+1 sections. Okay, so that is what called as a manageable pieces. Okay, now what the shard is doing? Yeah, it is containing the subset of the overall data. Whole data set you are partitioning, so that each partition is called as a shard. Now when a user query is issued, the most important thing, the system has to do some of the pre-processing with the help of the indexes, and your system your information retrieval system should be capable of determining which of the partition is containing relevant data with the help of what? Your index, and it should direct query correctly to that chart. The query should be directed to the appropriate node. The query should be directed to the appropriate partition for processing. Then only you can access the data from that system and you can produce the results to the user. Now, what is the advantage of it? Yes, when one system is handling all the load, then that multitasking is not possible by the single system. The response time of system will reduce. But when you are dividing your data, what will happen? You are spreading your data. Then the load will be distributed among the multiple machines. All the machines are capable of handling one query at a time. So it will give me multitasking, multiprocessing, so that the response time will be better. Now, the most important thing, on what basis your information retrieval system is determining that a particular shard is containing the answer to this query, to which shard the query should be directed. Whole and soul is based on your indexing. Okay, your inverted indexes should be properly organized so that your information retrieval system will direct the given query to the particular shard. Now, sometimes what happens, this indexing, whether you are managing only with a single index or whether you are dividing again the index among the multiple system. So, when you are making use of only one index which is stored at one node, then that is called as a centralized index. Centralized index means what? The index is stored in only one place. Though your data is divided globally, the index is stored in only one place and from where the queries will be directed. Okay. Now, sometimes what happen, when you are storing the index only at one place, and suppose that one system has been crashed, or due to the load, that one system is not giving me the fast response, then one system is not capable of directing me properly to the shard, then in that case, that one system is making my process slow. My retrieval process is slow. So the user will stop using of your search engine. Then in that case, in order to give the fast response to the user, what I should do? I should even make the replica of my index. My index should also be divided. Now, the best idea is what? Based on the data that is present in that system, the corresponding index should be present in that system only. And there should be one centralized index which is controlling all these indices. So, that is what called as a distributed indexing. Now, how you will process the query in distributed IR? The most important thing is query routing. Okay, making use of either your centralized index or distributed index, your information retrieval system should be capable of identifying the shard, the partition where the answer to this query is present. So, the query should be routed properly to that shard only. Then the query should be executed. So, from that shard, from that partition, whatever are the related documents, those should be retrieved. Then what happens? Sometimes your query is not making use of only one shard. Your query has to take help of multiple shards. Then in that case, when it is divided among multiple shards, you have to aggregate the result and rank your result. Okay, and finally the results are merged. So, this is what the architecture of your distributed IR, where client is posing the query. So, what the query manager will do with the help of index, the query is distributed, means the query is routed to the particular shard. Now, what I told you, this is your centralized index and this is what the distributed index, the index that is responsible for this local data. Okay, and when the query is routed, then the corresponding result will be returned to the user. Okay, and this is what the index for that collection of the documents. Okay, so this is what the main model of the distributed IR. So this is all about multiple systems capable of holding the data, capable of holding the index, so that increasing the response time, and they are connected by the network and capable of processing multiple queries at a time. So that is what known as a distributed IR. Thank you.